Artists, are you tired of the music industry? I get it. You get no royalties and there's no interaction with your listeners. But there's now a better way. You can use value for value to get value directly from your listeners and to interact with them. How? Well, there are many new modern apps like this one. This is the Fountain app. This is a podcast app, and listeners use it to listen to podcasts like the Boostergram Ball, where Adam Curry plays songs, for instance, your songs. And then listeners can send you value, which are small parts of cryptocurrency, small bits of Bitcoin, directly to you when your song is playing. And Adam configured his show to send value directly to the artists when their songs are playing. Very cool, isn't it? And the listener can then also attach a little message to their boost so that you can see them and interact with them. You get these messages directly. It's very cool. Also, listeners can stream small pieces of Bitcoin directly to you every minute, like this. It's a whole new world out there. So, how do you enable your music to be played on an app like this? Well, you can go to podhome.fm and upload your music as a podcast. I know that sounds weird, right? But I'll show you how. So, if you go here and you go to pricing, we'll have a special tier for Podhome for artists, which enables you to upload your music, unlimited albums, and unlimited tracks. Just start your free trial here for 7 days. You can cancel anytime. And from then, you'll pay €9 or dollars per month. After that, you'll get an email in which you can sign in, and then you'll end up here in Podhome. Now, from here, you can start to create new albums. Like I said, unlimited amount of albums. So let's do it. Let's create a new album. And the first thing I'll do is upload some album artwork. Now I have one here. Let's do it. And there it is. Now the title for my album, something like this. And I'll use this also for my description. And I am the artist in this case. I also own this album. And here is my email address. Now we speak in English mostly. Okay, that's it. Now let's create this album. And here we go. Now we have one album and I can create an unlimited amount. And so albums can contain tracks. So let's create our first track. I can do that from here, for instance. Then I can upload my audio file and I have my track right here. So let's upload that. There it goes. It's pretty small. And in the background, we'll do some checks and process it. And that's it. Now I have my track here. I can listen to it if I want to. Right here. Pretty cool. And then I can give it a title. Like this. Excellent. So, I can fill out some more stuff like lyrics as well. I can configure the value for value information for this specific track. We'll do that for the show in a minute. And now let's just publish this thing right now. Okay, excellent. That will go live in a bit. So we have a show, we have a track. Now let's configure value for value so that we can receive pieces of value and interact with our listeners. So here in the show settings under monetization and value for value, I simply enable value for value right here. Cool. Now I will add a recipient, which will be me, right? The artist. So you can create a Bitcoin Lightning address at getlb.com or at fountain.fm, and there are more places as well. Once you have one, you'll enter it here, like this one. All right, cool. Add a recipient, and we'll fill in all the details and save it. Excellent. So now for all of the tracks that I use within this album, this information is used by these modern podcast apps to send you value to this address. And that will then show up in your getlb.com wallet, including all of the messages that you receive during boosts. Excellent. So we have a track, we have albums, and we have value for value. Now, how does this appear in modern podcast apps? How do we get it there? Well, we do that by distributing it. Now, we do that right here. So all of the information that we just filled out, we'll process that into an XML file called an RSS feed. And modern podcast apps can read that once it is distributed by a directory. So you could submit this to Apple Podcasts, to Spotify, to Amazon Music, and you name it. I recommend to just do nothing for now because once you've published your first track, we will automatically publish that into the podcast index for you and we'll send you an email once that is done. Because all of these modern podcast apps actually use the podcast index to search for music and to play it. So this will then show up in all of these modern podcast apps, which is really cool. So that works automatically and will send you an email again when that is done. And that's it. So upload your music to Podhome, unlimited albums, unlimited tracks, and use value for value to get value from your listeners and interact with them. Have fun.